When does a overdrive pedal act more like an amp in a box? And when does an amp in a box act more like an overdrive pedal? Well, the answer to that is coming right up. Hey everybody, Mike McWilliams, Upstairs to the Right Music channel. Before we get started today, I'd like to take the opportunity to thank everyone for supporting this channel over the last 2 years. As you know, we've been in a subscription drive for the last few months trying to hit that goal of 1,000 subscribers on this channel, and it looks promising that we may hit that before the end of this year. So I can't thank you enough for supporting this channel, for taking the time to become a member, a subscriber of it, to support it with your likes, by hitting the notification button and watching the new content when it comes out. All of these things have made this channel what it is today, and all of it is because of you, and I want to say thank you so much. Today we are going to talk about two pedals. We're going to talk about this one, a very famous, well-known pedal. Wasn't at the time it came out, the Marshall Blues Breaker Mk1. When these came out in the early 90s, they were not popular at all. Nobody really wanted them. Fast forward here to 2 decades later, and you can see that they have reversed their fortunes incredibly. The cost on these has skyrocketed. They've become a much sought after effect pedal to own, and there's a reason behind that. These original Mk1 Blues Breaker pedals give a nice mid boost to whatever goes through them when you engage it in. One of the plus points being a so-called transparent overdrive, which is why I started out by saying that this was originally designed to be an amp in a box, but the reality of it, the output on this thing is really too low. You really have to crank the output all the way up on this thing. So as an amp in a box, it's pretty poor. After a clean signal, like a Fender pedal, a preamp, this thing is really where it shows its stripes. It really just cleans up that tone, gives it a nice mid boost, just overall gives it extra sparkle to whatever runs through it when you use it as a transparent overdrive, which I know is a term a lot of people don't like, but for sake of argument, that's what we'll call this. So it's not really an amp in a box, in my opinion. It doesn't have a strong enough output on it in order to qualify for that, but as an overdrive pedal, a transparent overdriver, much similar to like the Klon, for example, a similar kind of thing, a little bit different. This is a fantastic pedal to have. Now, a lot of emulations have come out over the years of the Marshall Blues Breaker. Here we have Harley Benton's latest output, which is the Dealbreaker. This is an actual repackaging of the Tomsline through Aroma Music pedals. We talked about that in the last episode. How they repackaged these, rebranded these. It's the same circuits that Tomsline had, which have a very good, I would say, reviews of them, saying that they're very high quality. These have been changed, the casing only. The Tomsline has some different housing and also some things on it, extra little bells and whistles that this one doesn't have in order to bring the price down by roughly 10 euros. So a lot of these emulations fall short. I always say there's nothing like the real thing. As you know, I have a EP3, original one in my studio. I tried all the emulations of the EP3 in pedal form out there that there were, and just came to the conclusion that there's really nothing like the real thing. However, unfortunately, an EP3 right now will run you about $1,500. A Marshall Blues Breaker pedal like this will run you about $600 to $800 at this point, whereas something like this will run you 20 bucks. So it's kind of worth taking the time to look into if these things really can own up to the sound of the original. A lot of the emulations, as I was saying, they don't. Some of them actually do better than the original. I'll be frank with you, my clone that I got years and years ago, that thing up against a real Klon Centaur, which I have tried out, I can't tell the difference. So sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. So let's do a little A/B test of this Dealbreaker versus the original Marshall Blues Breaker. Let's find out if this thing actually has that transparent overdrive sound that this one does, or if it's really more of an amp in a box. I'm suspecting, because the Tomsline was really putting this out as being the Dealbreaker amp, which is a little bit different than being based on the Blues Breaker pedal. So let's find out the little mystery behind this, and does it actually stack up against this? Let's go. Alright, so we're all set up here. Just a quick run through. We're going to be using the Joyo American sound as our preamp. We've set it on a clean Fender twin sound, so a clean tone going through that. First up for our demonstration is going to be the Harley Benton Dealbreaker. Much like on the original Blues Breaker pedal, you have a volume, you have a gain, and you've got a tone switches, knobs on it. Also, you have a bright switch on it. It's an added feature that you won't find on the original Blues Breaker, just to give you a little bit of top end if you so desire. Now, in order to make this a fair comparison, we're not going to be using the bright switch. We're just going to keep it on normal, but we have set this up to have a tone that I think is similar to that boost frequencies that you get out of the Marshall Blues Breaker pedal, just to set it up in a way that it's fair, that we can show the differences between these two pedals in terms of giving it that mid-range boost, that transparent overdrive, if you will. The thing about it is this pedal is a lot brighter in terms of volume than the Blues Breaker. The Blues Breaker is one of its downsides. It doesn't have a lot of output. This one has a lot of output on it. So actually setting this in the mid position, which is really cool. These knobs have little clicks, so you can click it right into the middle to know where that slot is. That's actually very handy. In the middle position, it's about as loud as the top volume that I usually do on the Marshall Blues Breaker. Alright, so we'll run some clean tones through this, and then we'll do a distorted tone just for kicks, and then we'll do the same thing with the Marshall Blues Breaker, and you can get a difference of tone there between the two of them, I'm sure. That I think you're going to notice. You have to decide which one you prefer. right, so there it is. We got a chance to see the Blues Breaker go up against the Dealbreaker. At the end of the day, no. I think that there's nothing like the real thing. This acts, when acting as an overdrive pedal in that capacity, that transparent boost that it gives to the mids, there's actually nothing like this. There's nothing that I've heard that comes close to it. However, I will say with this Dealbreaker pedal, whereas it doesn't really give you that mid-range boost, actually I think this would be a fantastic pedal and an amp in a box pedal. I think it has the output that you need that the Dealbreaker original does not have in order to qualify as a Blues Breaker amp and a pedal. So I think that's really where this thing shines, especially when you push it, you can really get some Marshall tones out of it. When you got a clean signal, a preamp running through it, or I would hazard to guess that just by itself also you could do the same thing, get the same kind of output. So yeah, no, not exactly the Marshall Blues Breaker pedal exactly. But as an amp in a box, if you're looking for a Marshall Blues Breaker tone, this thing is the way to go. It really does have that going for it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give this pedal away upon us hitting 1,000 subscribers. So when we get to 1,000 subscribers and we do that show, I will talk about how we will proceed with that giveaway. Until the next show, I want to thank you guys so much for staying tuned. And you take care of yourselves. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.